Welcome to the stage. We're going to talk about beating the bear, aren't we? About raising funds in a challenging landscape.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So
it's going to be fun.
right.
And yeah, just give everyone a little bit of time to sit down and defrag the room, if possible.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give the stage to Matthew Buxton from MYSTiC Forge.
Where's my MYSTiC Games? Always good. So I'm Matt from MYSTiC Games, MYSTiC Forge. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, this is our presentation, and I think it's always good to, since it's late, we've been here a long time. Some people are still hungover. First off, are you in the right presentation? I have a handy flowchart to determine this. So do you know what this is? So this is my first question. Anyone who doesn't, you're in the right place. Anyone who does, well, let's see. Do you own one? That's another question. Just one? With your own money? Go write a LinkedIn post about bootstrapping. So if you're already loaded, this is about the time that you would go to LinkedIn and you would write a post about bootstrapping and how hard it is, how you can no longer afford $6,000 shoes, and all of that good stuff. Whereas if you don't own one, you should probably stay here, because this is about how normal people raise in this environment and about the hidden rules of fundraising that no one tells you if you're just a normal employee and you're trying to start a game studio. If you do own one, and you also own these items, here's my Telegram, and we have already 1.9 million soft, and you can download, and we're ready for a seed round right now, because you're obviously a VC. Anyone who carries a water bottle that's suspiciously large and also wears Patagonia, please contact us. So, now we've established who should be here. It's everything you didn't want to know about raising VC money. What VC funding isn't. I think this is one of the things that is worth explaining, because a lot of people come in with this idea that VC funding works in a particular way, or it's always going to go to particular people. So let's have a look at it. So we have all of these exciting names of VCs: Flying Falcon, Lightspeed, Outlier, Makers Fund, OneUp, Play Ventures, Sisu, which is, the name is the untranslatable Finnish word for bravery on the brink of death. So you take risks, right? Right? What you should actually think of as VCs are first-time parents of a money baby. And as all first-time parents know, you're very concerned about your money baby. You have a monitor, you sing to it at night, you're hyper-aware of all the risks. And why is this? Because even if you are the best people, the best team, the best startup, we heard it from the previous talk as well, the landscape is rough, and it's always been rough, and about 90% fail. If you keep throwing money at rich white people, then I don't know why 90% fail. There's always another startup, but that's why people understand that everything VCs do is risk. It's the same as if I was to just walk down the street and someone comes up to me and they say, hey, give me a tenner, and I'll give you back 20 in 3 years. I don't think it's going to work out. And that's what we are to them, unless you're already someone who's done it before. So what VC funding isn't, it's not a meritocracy. It follows the power curve law. There are only so many people in the world, and everyone's intelligence follows a bell curve, whereas people acquiring power and money somehow doesn't. And that's because it compounds. The more successful you are, the more likely you are to do this. And when you actually need the money, the more likely they are to do that, give you that value add. Have you talked to that person? Oh, please, I just need to pay people. And it's like, I thought you were already rich enough. So the other thing is, it's not a massive advantage. A lot of people think that you get VC money and you can immediately just win. That's not necessarily going to happen. You'll probably get the money you need, the money you deserve, most likely, and you still need to prove yourselves. It's not this sole case that you've raised VC money, suddenly every door is going to open. So there's always going to be better funded competitors probably doing the same thing, and probably they're even more handsome than you are, which is really annoying. So why would you do it? Desperation, masochism, naivety, a combination of all three, or just you have a team already, you have a vision, and you're just bloody determined to get it done. And I think that's really what it's about. It's about horrible persistence and the fact that you're probably blacklisted on every single mobile game studio to hire until death. So you've got to have a team. You've got to have this kind of spirit that even if you have kids and a family and all the other middle-aged trappings that I do, you still have to just push it, because it's going to be hard. So how do you do it? This is how long a VC will spend, on average, looking at your deck that you spent weeks on. Thanks, DocSend. It's a little bit shorter in reality, but if you do a teaser pitch, expect them to flick through every page super quick because they have hundreds of these things that arrive on their table, thousands of people like us trying to beg for money from them, and many of them are terrible. So how do you stand out from the rest? Well, you need to do a lot of research. I would suggest Elite Game Developers is a great place to start out. They have everything from cap tables to how to organize your first pitch deck to how to make sure that you're sort of investable, what kind of teams look good on paper and what kind of teams look good in reality. You should also research the VCs you want, and then you should stack rank them in power order. Basically take your least favorite VC, send your deck to them, talk to them, add them on LinkedIn, and then 2 months later contact them so that they've forgotten that they just added you randomly. That's always a good method. But once you have that, you go from the ones that you don't want until all the way up to the ones that you're really, really certain on. And the reason for that is you get feedback, you get to test your deck, you get to learn what they want, and all of that. But all of this research, not so fast. I don't know if you know this fella. He's a lovely guy. But you need to know the hidden rules. And the hidden rules of VC funding are high quality deck, and I promise you, I didn't know anything about the news today. So apologies if you are with Riot or were with Riot, but better than Riot because it's the only VC company only games company that VCs actually know. And do you need us? Why? Because basically VCs are looking for traction in everything, even an unreleased app. So this is the kind of thing, the first thing they'll say is like, oh, I can see it on my phone. How many players have you got? I was like, it's out yesterday. It's like, that's not a hockey stick. But no, it's good. And you only get one chance. So you need a high quality deck because they will not come back to you. If you can't break them out of their malaise, they will never actually contact you. And this is why you can have the most informative deck in the world, but if it doesn't tell them something exciting or a good story, then you are shit out of luck. They don't read, that is true. I've done a study in all of our VCs. Every single one of them on Telegram replied to whatever pitch we put with, take out more words. And these are people who gave us money. They're like, remove more words until it was just sentences. Vague, random sentences saying money, soon, later. Narrative pitch, compelling, pretty. And this, again, apologies about the Riot thing, I had no idea. But do you work at Riot? If so, there is a position at MYSTiC Games, whichever you want. Collect your equity, and it's a competitive salary in the same way that American cheese is cheese. So we have some like nice pre-worn swag that you could wear as well. But essentially, it's one of these tentpole companies that VCs know, and it goes the same for FANG, Facebook, Netflix, all of those kind of things. If you have people who are in those power companies as well, it's going to make your raise significantly easier. And then the do you need us? So you have metrics, right? And you need to have some metrics, whether it's signups, whether it's people playing your game, whether it's days or weeks or months of statistically significant data. Don't even think about trying to fake it. They will check. It's the one thing they remember from Econ 101. It's literally the one thing they will do is check your data. So don't even think about it. But you have to have mind-boggling data of something. So you have to push something out there, get some good numbers, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll get to the real hidden rule, which is it's all about FOMO. It's engagement farming. The whole thing is just engagement farming. After all of this, and after all of this, are you investable and all the rest of it? It's did their friends tell them about you? Did the other VC say, oh, these guys are raising? And the thing is, they all know each other. It's a bit like streamers, that they all have this inner drama with each other. So they all know each other, and that's why when you start raising with VCs, that's why you start at the ones you don't want the most, because then hopefully the good rumors filter up. So by the time you hit your potential lead VC, at least 3 or 4 of them have said, have you heard of this company? And they're looking for feedback from their lead. So use events to your advantage like this. Speak, be choosy, don't get to events that are just like everywhere. Find out where they'll actually go, because they're a little bit like vultures. They will descend on some free food and then they will take it away and disappear to an expensive dinner where they will complain about the free food. I know, I've been invited once. And And fellow founders are just as important. Like, we actually managed to secure our raise by talking to some awesome people at FCC, which was an event in Paris when it was 41 degrees. It was like being inside a hairdryer. So also blag the VIP. I mean, I know that Chris will probably be a bit mad at this, but if you don't have a thing in the VIP, if you can see something they have from it, like a wine glass, and it's not from anywhere else, if you're holding the wine glass, no one questions you, and you can just get in there and chat to them. This is not financial advice. Don't follow it. Well, that was easy, wasn't it? So when Lambo, we have Lambo at home, and this is what you have to build. Like, this is why it's really important to get multiple warm intros, to find the right VCs. And when you're in the process, the thing is that you might already run out of money before you actually raise the money or take the money, even if people like you. There's a lot of legal wrangling. Sometimes they will not understand things like their own bank. So you'll have to be there and fill in all the details and work out how to wire transfer hundreds of thousands of dollars from America. And you'll sound like a twat on the train if you talk about that loudly, though. So don't. And it doesn't count until it's in your bank. We've had people who've promised us lots of things and then suddenly evaporated. We've had people who were going to give us this amount and then it's half. Then they wanted more, then someone else came in, and then they wanted to come in. And after a while, you're like, I've probably spent like 400 billion on lawyers already, just sending all of these contracts. It's now not worth taking the investment because they will have cost as much. And if it actually happened, don't panic, but the clock is ticking. And you'll need a support network, and that goes for if you are a lone founder, if you have friends, or you're doing it with a co-founder, you need to have a support network of people. And this is one of the things I kind of forgot about when I started, was all of those industry contacts you built up over the years, just message them. Like, no one wants to see you do it alone. If they've hired you in the past and if they're like your friends or even if they've been your bosses, even if you had a mild distaste for each other, as long as you're not working in that kind of same hierarchy, it's good to get feedback, it's good to ask, because it could be as simple as finding the right payroll provider for a non-EU citizen working in an EU environment. There are so many things in your network that will benefit you. So it's also really important to have other people who are also going through the hell, because you can't really sit there with your employees and say, it's all on fire, because that will scare them, and that's not nice. So now what? So you start prototyping, this is the next big stage, and then you build the rest of the fucking game, which is what we did. And so we've got Call of the Void. It's out now on iOS and Android. And essentially, that's it for me.
Fantastic, thanks so much. Highly efficient talk also, which means we have room for questions. So if there are any, raise your hand and a microphone will be brought your way. All the way in the back, I see someone.
Where's your watch?
Where's my watch? I left it at home because I was in a hurry. And then, yeah, it's in Stockholm.
It's in your Lambo.
Yeah, it's in my Lambo. My cardboard Lambo.
Any other questions?
That was a good question, though.
All right, maybe the talk was so high energy and everyone's still processing it. But if you have any questions, I'm sure, happy to take questions outside of the room.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, in that case, thank you so much for that. Thank you.